Wow.
That. What's up, everybody? It's the 4K Lowdown coming to you with our first episode live, and my buddy John has joined me. John, how you doing?
Doing great, Dave, man. I'm excited.
Oh man, me too, bro. And we have this other show that we do, and I love the banter. I love that we go back and forth. And I tried to do a live show by myself with the 4K Lowdown, and it really went down in flames. It was awful. I had one person on for like 2 minutes, never said anything, and I was like, "Oh, screw this." So I'm like, I got to have somebody else on so it looks like we're actually talking to somebody.
Yeah, talking to yourself, people already
talking to, I mean,
crazy.
I talk to myself all the time, but it does make me look crazy when I actually see it on camera happening.
Yes, yes, it does.
As long as you don't interrupt yourself, then I think you're okay. But wow. But yeah, I was like, man, for like an hour and a half, I was talking to myself, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Hey, just barely me made it this time. Well, thanks for joining the show, just barely me.
Hey, that is Cody. That's my buddy Cody.
Buddy Cody, well, how's it going, Cody?
Actually, my daughter's buddy Cody.
You're not
But
even.
yeah, but I'm glad he's on here. He did say that he would have joined my other live show if he had known it was coming. So that's really good. Um, but yeah, so we're still kind of working our format out,
Oh
what we're
yeah.
gonna do, but I thought that we'd talk about like some of our favorite movies from the genre, and I was like, okay, we're gonna pick our 5 favorite movies for action, and then score them, and then figure out the order, right? So we come up
Yeah,
with our top 10 list, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then I'm like, how can you pick 5 movies?
Brooklyn, you kept messing me up. No, that's not that. You have to no, that can't be that one. That's a whole different
No,
category.
you can't.
Hello?
You can't do that. That's
Damn
sci-fi,
it,
bro.
bitch.
Damn it, Dave. But um, and yeah, I know, but
I
I
I'm
was
I I think I'm excited about the scoring format because I watched the scoring format that you do on the 4K Lowdown on Facebook,
yeah,
and I love it. And I'm excited to kind of get down into this because honestly, like you were talking about the other show, I'm interested in trying to take this format as we talked about before
to the
and
other show.
transferring it to the other show.
Yeah,
And I think that'll be awesome. So I'm really digging on trying to learn this format and how you
yeah.
do the scoring system and discussing movies, dude. Who doesn't love discussing movies? I mean,
Who
we talk
doesn't love
about
talking about
it
movies? I mean,
all day
even in
long.
our other show, we talk about
Yeah,
movies all the time.
yeah.
Um,
Bring stuff back to the movie.
oh, totally. Um, so for this, our first episode, I went with action movies, mainly because alphabetically action comes first, but it's also
Probably
one of
one
the
of the
more
most
popular
popular
genres.
genres. Yeah.
Yeah, people. Oh, action movies. Yeah, I've got action movies that I like. So cool. So I had you pick 5, I picked 5,
So hard to do.
and we we're gonna throw them together, and we're gonna score them live,
Yes.
and we're gonna
Data
because
scoring
I'm
system
gonna
is
I'm gonna toot my horn for a second.
Ugh, it's really good. I've been
Thanks, bro.
I've been I've been friends with you for like 30 years now, but
Yeah,
but
forever, bro.
yeah, but yeah, for it is a forever. But the watching you put together the 4K Lowdown, I've always known you've been a big movie buff. Um, but watching you actually start bringing your passion about movies and start talking about it and rating them and really getting into it and digging into movies and seeing the scoring set, dude. I've ever since you started doing the 4K Lowdown on Facebook and we've been Facebook friends. I've been watching the 4K and there's some movies I disagree with. It's like I don't understand how you rated it that way, but okay.
Like I said, and this is part of the reason why I want to do it, because I want to
you
get your
take pers-
view.
you take personal opinion out of the rating system, which I
Yeah,
love.
yeah, that's what I mean. There has to be there's a little bias. I got to
There's a,
admit, there's still a little bias, but I try to make it as objective as possible. And I was thinking, how could I do that without just going, oh, you know, story
yeah,
sucked. 1 star. Because that's what you see with critics. They're
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah,
they find something that they can key off of that they didn't like,
yeah,
one thing,
and they
and I'm just going to use an example. Superman's lip in Justice League, the Joss Whedon one. Everybody threw a fit about that because, oh my god, the CGI on his lip was so bad
yeah,
that
ruined
the
the
movie's
whole
just
movie.
the whole movie's just shot.
I did
And I was like, no, I disagree. I gave it a 7.5, I think,
yeah.
because I was like, there's so many other things that you can look at and say, yeah, I had trouble with
But
that
but
too.
you did have a
But
low rating on the CGI. I do remember you
yeah,
had a low rating on the
I
CGI
did. I had a
for the
for
Superman
for a comic book movie. I had a really low rating on the CGI because I was like, Superman's
yeah,
lip.
for
But
Justice League movie, and you fucked up his lip. Yeah.
but yeah, but I was like, but I did like this part of the CGI, and I did like this part of the CGI. So I think overall I gave the CGI like a 7,
Yeah, you were
but
still at a
I
7
was
on a
still
movie
like a
that should
7.
have
But
been at a
yeah,
top
I'm like top tier CGI. You're looking at a 10. You're like, okay, Avengers Endgame. You're like, dude, the CGI in there is just off the chain.
yeah.
So um, so yeah, but that's because it's a comic book movie. CGI is one of the aspects that I look at. So basically what I did was I said, okay, instead of me harping on the one thing that's great or the one thing that's bad, I picked 10 things that I want in the movie
Yeah.
and and then score them each on 1 to 10, then total it up. And I did the average so it would get like total scale of 1 to 10. But I was thinking because of what we do on the other show that maybe we go to 100, and because it's 10 aspects, 1 to 10 each, and we don't have to do any more math. We just add it up. That's the score.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking about that. Don't know if
Alright.
you want to go for it, but I think we'll try it and see what we think.
We'll work with it.
Um so
Just like every woman says, we are a work in progress.
exactly. We're yeah, all men are a work in progress. And my wife's been working on me forever. So
About 30 years.
yeah, 32 years. um but so And the other thing I wanted to do, and I'll talk to you about this as we're moving along. The so there's 5 aspects that I picked that I want in every movie. So I want out of every movie, I pick 5 aspects that are out of every movie. Then I pick 3 aspects by genre and 2 aspects by type.
Okay.
Um, but what we're going to do today is we're going to have 5 aspects for the movie, 5 aspects for the genre. And when you and I were talking about that, there was something that you said you wanted out of action movies
Yes.
and something different that I wanted out of action movies.
Yeah.
So I'm actually thinking that you score your movies with your aspect, which was realism, was the one
Realism.
thing that you want that you
Yeah.
wanted. And I'm like, okay, I consider realism part of the special effects or whatever. But if you're like, I want that to be a main thing,
I
then that
feel
goes then
yeah,
that goes on your score.
yeah,
So
and you
so
wanted humor.
I wanted humor. I want the one-liners, I want the jokes, I want, something to kinda make light of the situation.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and one movie that came to mind was True Lies with Arnold and all the
Yeah.
one-liners that he does. It's an amazing action movie. It's actually one of my alternates on on our list, but
Okay.
yeah, I was like, "Ooh, I wanna do that one, but I'm gonna do this one." But anyway, lots of humor in that movie. But is it realistic? No,
No, no,
not
that's
really.
no.
So that makes it different than how you would score it. So we're gonna take your 5 movies, but everything else was the same. Um,
Yeah.
so we're gonna take your 5 movies and score them with the realism aspect, and I'm gonna take my 5 and score them with the humor aspect.
Okay. Alright.
Right?
Yep, yep. Mm,
S-
I forgot to write
s-
down my movies before the show, but
That's okay. I've got your movies.
okay. Alright.
Speaking of which, so let's talk about. Well, do you want to talk about new releases first, or do you want to talk about um, the first five aspects?
No, no, uh as we talked about, let's talk about the new releases that are coming that just came out, new DVD releases, if not
Yeah,
movies
these
because
are these are releases on physical media, so that's
yes,
kind of what the lowdown is about. Is it
yeah,
takes movies on physical media and reviews them, rates them, so that if you want to buy them, you can.
yeah.
And that's kind of why I wanted an objective score because I mean, if you give me a musical, I hate musicals. I can't stand them. But I'll review them and I'll give them a decent score if they're quality.
Best
If
musical ever made is Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Strung Band. Just gonna throw
yeah,
that out
I
there.
I didn't even get 10 minutes into that movie. I shut it off. So for me, my favorite musical is Repo, a Genetic Opera.
Oh my god. That's a okay. I
So
could
I
see
mean,
that. I could see that.
sci-fi. So I get some, like if you're gonna give me romance, if I have to watch a romantic movie, you
Yeah.
better have something blow up or do something. Have a fight scene. Give me something to go with. If you're gonna give me a musical, give me Sweeney Todd where people die. I'm okay. I can make it through that movie. But or give me Rock of Ages where everything's all 80s hairband music and I can take that.
Well, that's why I kinda I'm a big Beatles fan and watching the
The Beatles.
Beatles.
I like the
Watching the
Beatles.
Bee Gees doing all 50 songs was pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
it but, I'm old, so
You're old?
I'm old,
Shit.
so
Okay, fine.
a lot
Right.
of people don't understand about sorry, that whole movie, so or who the Bee Gees are. You should know who the Beatles are. I mean, they've sold more albums than the church
Then
has sold Bibles,
then
so
every yeah, then everything. Maybe not as many as Twilight, but yeah, it's
oh,
been um but anyway, okay, so let's look at the new releases. I got a video that I'll queue up that'll show us the new releases.
yeah, because I struggle finding that. I'm like, you're gonna have to hit me up with that website
I'll hit
after
you up with the
calls
website
so I
because
can
I go to Blu-ray.com and I get their new releases.
okay.
And that's the basically the standard releases of what's coming out. Now, the one thing that's new to me even in the, you know, 35 years or so that I've been collecting movies is boutique titles. And boutique titles, these are studios like off-brand studios that kind of release their own copies
Yeah, that's
of
so
these movies. And it just I didn't know anything about this stuff until like January of this year to where I was like, "Ooh, boutique titles," because somebody was like, "Oh, what's your favorite boutique 4K that you have?" And I was like, "I don't even know if I have a boutique 4K." I don't even know what you're talking about. Turns out that I've been buying some boutique titles, especially horror movies, but
yeah,
because there's a boutique studio called Scream Factory that puts out some really killer artwork.
yeah.
And I look at the artwork and I'm like, oh, cool, I want that, but I didn't know it was a boutique title. So anyway, so I actually found a couple of boutique studios that have releases coming out this week
Oh,
as well. So let's go through the video.
alright. Wow.
Okay, so so that's quite a few movies, right?
Quite a few movies
So
being released out.
um, yeah, so and that was only two. I checked a few boutique labels, and some of them, there's one that doesn't have anything coming out till the 26th of this month. Um, and it all depends, so it fluctuates. But there's like at least a dozen or so companies out here that do all their own copies of movies. For example, I recently got a 4K of Hard Target with Van Damme.
Oh, yeah.
That was Kino Lorber is the company that I got that from.
Yeah, I saw you were listing the names of the boutique companies out there
Right.
to
So I listed, yeah, the name of the boutique. So like that first one was Criterion, and they're like kind of the high end.
okay.
Um, get really good quality, but they're really expensive. And then Kino Lorber, they do a lot of the old stuff. So you saw like the New Year's Evil, and they do like the old. I don't want to say garbage
Oh,
horror, but that's the only thing that's coming to mind. So the
B-movie
old
horror.
classics, yeah, B movie horror and the classic like the Vincent Price stuff and
Oh, yeah.
things like
Oh,
that. They got some
it's
great stuff, but yeah, they remake a lot of these older movies. Like so, this last
tentacles and
yeah, Tentacles. So this
yeah.
this last week, because Kino Lorber is having a sale until the 19th of this month, and I got the original Mad Max,
Oh, so good.
Silence of the Lambs,
Oh,
and
so
that Hard Target. And now I have my second box from them, which I haven't even opened yet.
oh.
So I'm going to do an unboxing later this week. But I know that Remo Williams is in there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember you
Um,
told me about that.
yeah, I was like, oh, Remo Williams on Blu-ray.
Oh,
Ugh.
Beastmaster.
Yeah,
Beast
Beastmaster's coming in May,
May,
and that's from another boutique label called Vinegar Syndrome, where I ordered Beastmaster on 4K and I ordered Cloak and Dagger
oh, Cloak and
on
Dagger, I like that one.
4K, and it was really kind of odd because Beastmaster was already out, but because I ordered Cloak and Dagger at the same time, and that's not released until like the day before my birthday
Oh,
next month.
okay,
So, or the day after my birthday. It's like right there, right before Memorial Weekend.
okay.
And so because I ordered them both at the same time, I'm getting them together. So
Oh,
even
okay.
though they already had Beastmaster, they're going to send it with Cloak and Dagger. And I'm going
Oh,
to
you
get them
don't pay
both
the
next
double
month.
shipping. Yeah, you don't have to pay for the
Exactly.
double shipping. That's
Yeah.
smart.
So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, Cloak and Dagger. That was like one of my favorites when I was a kid. So I'm
So,
really looking forward to having that.
out of that list of new releases that are coming that just came out yesterday, what's the one that you would like, you gotta go get?
Spider Man. I've
Dude,
already ordered it.
I just watched that. I was not disappointed.
Oh, dude,
I
I
was
liked it.
not disappointed in it.
I wasn't, and that's an interesting because I've already scored it, but I haven't
Yeah,
reviewed it.
yeah,
Um,
it's
but I've already scored it, and it's one of the ones this year that rates a nine,
yeah,
a nine or
it's a good I was not disappointed. I was worried
uh,
because I watched the animated, uh,
the End of the
Spider-Verse.
Spider Verse.
I wasn't too excited about it.
You know,
Um,
I had to watch it a couple times before I really liked it. The first time I watched it, I was like, "Is it me or does this seem blurry?" It seemed blurry
yeah,
to me, like it's supposed to be in 3D or something.
yeah, it's
And, but I liked it. I mean, once I like I said, I had to watch it like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, "Okay." Um, ultimately, I think I gave it a 9 also, and it was like everybody loved it. I
yeah,
just
it's I don't know, I couldn't get it. I don't know,
but
something
with
just but the
with No Way
movie,
Home,
No Way Home was
um, yeah, with No Way Home, I wasn't really happy with the plot. When you see the trailer and you
ah,
kinda like,
yeah,
"Really? That's
yeah,
what" I
it's
was
kinda
like,
the feeling I got to it too, and then I
yeah,
watched it, I was like,
I was
"This is
like,
good."
that was
They
good.
did a good
Yeah, it
job
was
with
it
it.
was good. So yeah, that one that's the only new release I'm actually getting this week. The rest of them I'm like, okay. And I'm not really into the ones that are coming out with the boutique labels. Walker is interesting. That's the one that
Walker,
Criterion's putting
yeah,
out. That's a classic with Ed Harris and stuff,
yeah,
but there's a lot of geopolitical stuff with that movie.
It is.
And I think it's like, so I was like, I was reading about it on the Criterion website, and I was like, I don't know if I want to get this movie. Like,
I
it's
might end up on
it's
somebody.
like it supported some drug lord or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it was like really, it was just really weird the what Criterion wrote about the movie. So I was kind of, I it kind of pushed me off of it. But I liked the cover. I was like, the cover art looks cool.
Yeah,
I kind of wanted that. It's
yeah.
based on a true story. Um, but other than that, the TV series one, the first two ones were Chesapeake Shores, and that's a Hallmark series, and then Chucky season one
Yes, I
were
haven't
the
seen.
TV series that were coming
Yeah,
out. So yeah, I'm gonna do that every week and do kind of a new release kind of breakdown and try to get the boutique labels in there as well, so that people know exactly what just came out,
yeah.
so they can go and look for it. But yeah, I had to pre-order Spider-Man
Oh, I
because
haven't had it.
I mean, I found out yesterday that you can't even get them really in the stores anymore, and
Do they
the
have, like,
steelbook.
I was at Walmart yesterday.
Hmm.
Yeah, yesterday, and they have 2 full racks of
Huh,
the special edition steelbook 4K, and then
nice.
they have, like, a small section of Blu-ray.
Yeah,
And no regular.
no regular, no
But they
DVD.
had a bunch. I was like, "Holy cow." And the dude, because I ended up buying a new, baseball game yesterday. That's what I got stuck on today. Uh,
Oh,
I ended up
nice.
getting that new show with the I got the special edition with the animation art of Shohei Ohtani. It's a
Okay.
steel case too. It's a collector's edition version, but I was sitting there, I was like, "Damn, that's a lot." And the dude in the movie section, he's like, "Oh, these will probably be gone tomorrow. Yeah, they're just gonna fly off the shelf."
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow."
Um, all right,
That's
man. So let's get into this and
Get into these top action movies.
see
Is
the
that what
top action movies.
you're
So we each pick five,
saying?
and like I said, it's not the greatest action movies ever made,
So
but ones that were like, okay, these are kind of, you know, for me it was like, okay, what are my go-tos? If I'm like, I want like full-blown action, or I want adventure, or I want martial arts, or if I want like a great all-around action movie, that's kind of what I went with.
how I kinda picked mine and you shot down a bunch of mine.
Again, I apologize, but you were like, you're in the wrong genre,
You're
bro.
like, "That's not the right genre." I was like, but the
Damn
way
it, I want that movie. Yeah, well,
the way the
save.
way
So I already know what your sci-fi movies and fantasy movies are going to be. So we're almost covered for those genres later. But
I was I was like, "Okay, how do I pick my 5? How do I do this?" And I thought about it, and I thought long and hard. I was like, "If I came home and I just turned on the
you want
television
to, yeah,
and the TV was on and this movie was playing, am I changing the channel?" And
right.
there's few movies that I'm like, "Ah, I can watch that later." But there's a few movies out there I'm like, I don't even care where it started at. I'm just gonna sit here and watch it.
I'll just sit there and watch the
Or
movie. Yeah,
because of the DVR system, I'll hit the rewind and it'll start it from the beginning for me.
yeah,
And so
totally.
that's
Yeah,
kinda how I picked my list
yeah.
here.
I kind of did the same thing. Or it was like, because I have so many movies
Yeah,
here, I'm like, okay, if I can't decide on a movie to watch,
yeah,
what would I just throw in the player
yeah, yeah.
as like, this is my go-to. I know it's a fun action movie. I just put this in and enjoy it.
Like the picture behind you, 13th Warrior. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yep.
If it's ever on, I'm just gonna sit there and watch it.
Yeah. And oh yeah, these
Or if
these two
I'm
guys right here, this
yeah, Count
Count of
Monte
Monte
Cristo,
Cristo and 13th Warrior, those are
yeah,
my two of my favorite fantasy movies of all time.
yeah, or if
And then
I'm channel surfing
there's
and I'm
an
like, "Oh, that's on, I'm watching that now."
and the other one over here is Stardust, and
Stardust,
that's almost on my list too.
yeah, that's
Um,
but I didn't
so
pick 13th Warrior because I didn't want that getting kicked out of my action.
I d no, I would have kicked it out of your action, bro. I'm sorry,
That's a
but
drama, damn it.
uh, it's it's a story about Vikings and swords and dude. Um,
That's
So
fantasy. It's not fantasy. That's real life.
that's not real life. Not now.
Not now, but
It's
it
yeah,
was.
of course it's based on the book The Eaters of the Dead.
Yeah,
So that's kind of okay. So that's where it's a fantasy tale because it's based on a fiction. I mean, it has basis in real life because
yeah,
Vikings did exist and all that good
yes,
stuff. But same
but it
thing with
is
the Count of Monte
fantasy.
Cristo. That I'm sure that probably happened or something similar to that. But the Count of Monte Cristo is based on a book, so that's why it's a
Yes,
fantasy.
I know. You threw me
Uh,
off. You
I
fucking
I know I know threw a grenade right in the middle of what you were doing.
like,
Okay, I picked these movies. Boom.
you're
No,
like, you can have these three, but you got to change these ones.
you
Okay, this
gotta
one,
change
can't have
these
that one.
two.
This one,
And
no.
then I think, yeah, we spent an hour on that. Like, fine, I picked these, and I'm like, all right, I'll let you have those. And you're like, damn it.
It was
But
good. You should see the conversations we have off camera.
oh, dude, especially when we get late at night after our other
Oh,
show, it's like,
yeah.
whoa. Okay,
All right,
let's
so
let's grab your first movie.
my first movie. What do you got the whole list over there?
Yeah, I've
Okay,
I've got I've got the movies piled up here. I'm ready.
okay. So, all right, my first movie I'm gonna throw out there, and it's probably a title not a lot of people have heard of,
Oh, I know what
unless
you're getting.
you're
Unless you're a legit action movie fan.
actually fan. And I'm gonna throw out Flashpoint right off the bat.
All right.
Yeah, I fucking love this movie. Donnie Yen,
This
huge fan.
Donnie Yen is probably, I mean, pound for pound, my favorite martial arts actor right now.
Yeah,
Um, because
yeah,
he is still badass.
dude, he is. Yeah,
He is amazing. So all right, so we're gonna go Flashpoint. Okay, now here's the thing, and this is where we're coming into the first category. So the first category of the main five that we want in all movies is the cast.
cast.
We want a cast, and the way that's scored, it's actually pretty simple. When you if you recognize the person by sight, so if you look at the box or you watch the movie and you go,
Like
that's
Donnie
Donnie
Yen.
Yen. Donnie Yen, I know him. I know what he's been in. That's
Yeah,
2 points.
yeah.
Okay. And then if you have another person that you you recognize but you don't know his name, it's like, oh, that dude was in in this other movie or something like that, but I don't remember his name, then
Yeah.
that's 1 point.
Okay.
Okay. So,
I
but
think casting for this movie will be low, to be honest with you.
right. But and that brings me to the other point. The reason why it's going to be low is because this is kind of a foreign film.
It is. It's
So,
a South
s-
Korean film.
yeah. So what I do for foreign movies, and I'll do my first movie will be a foreign one so we can kind of compare
Oh,
that.
okay.
Um is I automatically give it a score of 4.
Okay. Because
Okay.
all right,
Because
international,
I'm not
international.
going to know these guys. I'm going to give it a 4, and then you add a point for everybody you know.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So for example, okay, I'm going to give it a 4, 4 to start. You know Donnie Yen. I'd almost give 2 points for Donnie Yen
I'd almost give 2 points for DonnieYen because
because Donnie Yen is like, dude, household
he's a
name.
Jackie Chan,
Yeah.
Bruce Lee, Jet Li, international martial arts
Yeah.
star.
Yeah. So that kind of means 6 for the
I'd
cast.
give that a 6.
Yep.
They're, one of the I don't know if people haven't seen it or not, I recommend this every single time, but, one of the 3 brothers, has been in multiple different martial art movies as well. I do know his face. I'll never be able to pronounce his name because he hasn't taken the Donnie Yen way or
Right.
Bruce Lee
He
way.
hasn't taken the Hollywood name.
Yeah, he doesn't have a Hollywood name. So I'd give him an extra point there. I'd probably go cast altogether a 7.5 is probably where I'd
Okay,
put it.
we're just going to go round numbers. So we'll go
Okay.
7, or do you want to go 8?
I'll round it up to 8 because there's a
Okay.
multitude of cast members, like the
There's a whole bunch.
female cop that's in there. She's been in a bunch of, in fact, I think she's in Cop Killer too.
Yeah.
Um, and a couple, actually, she's been in quite a few Donnie Yen movies, actually.
Okay. All right.
So I would take it up to an 8 for cast.
Okay.
What do you
All right.
think about that? Would that
Yeah,
that's how I feel about the cast.
I'm still around a 6. I might go 7. Um,
Okay.
strictly because, and I would go back to doing, 1 point for Donnie. I know Lewis Koo, who is in the movie. I recognize him by
Lewis
name,
Koo
so I would
was,
give
the other detective, right?
right.
Oh,
So he gets a point, and then yeah, the female cop, I
can't
recognize her.
remember.
So we get a point for that. So yeah, I would give it a 7.
7? Alright, I'll split it down the middle and go 7. You're starting at 6, I'm going to 8 and so yeah, I like 7. I like 7.
Okay.
That's a good 7.
So yeah, we can totally do that. If I go 6 and
Good.
you go 8, we'll add it to 7.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We'll split the
Kind of like we do for the other show.
yeah, exactly.
I'm down for that. Okay. So the next thing is the acting.
I see,
So
I
so
enjoy
now
it.
this is kind of where you get a little biased. So because you're like, okay, how was the acting? And and with this movie, it's really hard because
Yeah, you're saying
you're
what
gonna
like
watch
what
it dubbed.
standards. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
you're gonna watch it dubbed, or you're gonna watch it subtitled, and you're not gonna understand what they're saying.
yeah.
Now, when you watch a foreign film like this, do you watch it dubbed or do you watch it subtitled?
First time I ever watch a foreign title, I always watch it subtitled because I wanna
It's
hear and get the emotion of what they're saying, and
mhm,
you lose a lot of that when you do the dubbed.
absolutely. I'm kind of the other way though. So I watch it dubbed first. That way I know what's going on. And then I'm like, okay, I enjoyed that enough to I'll watch it again and I'll watch it subtitled so I get the feel for the actors
Yeah. Oh, no,
and
yeah,
what's
I
happening.
see
So
where
I'm
you're
kind
going.
of the same for the same reasons
Same
I do it
reasons,
kind
just
of the opposite
backwards.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, opposite of
S-
me, yeah, well, it also depends on what time I watch it. Because if I'm watching it late at night,
Yeah.
I don't feel like reading.
Yeah. I don't want to read the movie, so
Alright,
dubbed. Yeah. I don't want to read that. Can't read.
so
Not enough time.
but, yeah,
Um,
I like to get that emotion. I wanna feel when I first watch a movie, I wanna feel it, you know? I wanna get
yeah.
that feeling and
And the thing about Donnie is I like his acting. I really think Donnie Yen is one of the best martial arts actors
yes,
out there.
not
I
yeah,
feel his
not
emotion.
just a choreographer, but an actual
Yeah,
actor.
but I can feel his emotion when he's fighting. When he's
I can
when
see
he's
it.
sad, I
I
can
think
feel
the
his
problem with
anger, his
I think
pain.
I was gonna say Donnie Yen's sad and and that type of acting, I think he struggles with a little bit because he's such a
Yeah,
happy person, but
yeah. But it's more like he goes like he just skips over sad and goes to rage.
yeah.
He does rage really well.
But I would probably give this acting
So
on this movie
the thing about the acting, and I want to stop you for a second before you give it a score.
okay,
Um, is the acting score is one of those things that's almost based on the cast score.
okay, and
So
I was kinda
so
gonna be right about there too.
so what I do is if the so for instance you have a let's say you have a cast of 10, like you know Robert De Niro, Al Pacino,
Oh, yeah.
Marlon Brando, everybody and their dog. I'm talking about Godfather. I'm
No,
like all in there
Godfather,
with okay.
yeah.
Okay, so you're like, dude, that's a 10.
That's a 10.
So all these actors, big name guys,
Oh, yeah.
and then the acting, and you go, okay, was the acting up to par for how good the cast is?
Oh, okay. Or did it
Okay,
outshine the cast?
right, or did it outshine the cast, or did it make the did it make the cast look bad? So it's like, there's a movie called Righteous Kill, which is Robert De Niro and
Oh,
Al Pacino,
good movie.
and um, And I didn't really like I liked the movie, but I didn't like their acting job in it. It seemed like they kind of phoned it in. So you get a good score for the cast, but if the acting's kind of meh for
Yeah,
the cast, then
I know what you're saying.
I'll throw a low score for the acting because I expected more out of it.
Okay.
So, but if
Okay.
I don't know the actors and
Yeah.
the acting is the same as it would have been for the really big name guys, I
Yeah.
would give it a higher score because I didn't expect as much out of the acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah. So yeah, again, I'm, you know,
I would probably still put this about a 7 for the
yeah,
acting.
I'm kind of the same. I'm about a 7
I think they
for the
for
acting. I
the
thought they did
cast
a
they
solid job.
had,
I
they did
felt
this
it.
I don't feel like Donnie Yen had to carry anybody. I think
No,
they
no, I think all the martial artists in the movie, all the actors, they held their own parts,
yeah,
and I felt the differences
yeah.
between
I don't think
between
they
each
the
character.
acting outshined them. I don't
No,
think they
no, and I don't think they underwhelmed
underwhelmed
for
them.
what they are, for who they
I
are. So yeah,
I'd say a solid 7 still with that
yep, I agree with that. Okay, so the third aspect is the plot, and
plot.
that's basically if you read the back of the box, would you buy the movie or would you watch it? Right, without knowing anything about it, maybe from a trailer, something like that.
Which
Would
is
you
funny,
watch the movie?
I bought the movie for the photo box because I saw Donnie Yen had
I
no
saw Donnie Yen on it and I bought it. Yeah,
I
I
keep buying it.
exactly the same thing. And the other thing was that this is from Dragon Dynasty.
Dragon Dynasty, yeah.
Yeah, so I
Great
bought
movie
like 30
studio.
of these things from
Yeah,
Dragon Dynasty
great movie
because
studio.
they're so good. So so the box reads the creators of Killzone take action to the next level with a breakthrough combination of hard-hitting mixed martial arts battles and nail-biting tension. Kung Fu legend Donnie Yen returns as the police force's most dangerous detective, building a case against a vicious trio of drug smuggling brothers. When evidence is destroyed and witnesses are murdered, he takes the fight directly to his enemies, no holds barred, climaxing with a spectacular 16-minute bone crunching showdown. This Hong Kong smash hit is an entertaining action blowout.
Dude dude, who wouldn't
So
buy that movie?
you had me at 16-minute bone
Bone
crushing.
Crusher Showdown. Dude, it was so good.
Oh yeah, it was so good. So yeah, I look at this and I'm like, I'm going 9
I would
for
say
the
a
plot.
solid 9 for the plot line. I
Yeah.
mean, who
Yeah.
reads the back of that title and doesn't buy it?
And goes like if you're like, "Oh no, I want Greatest Showman." but uh,
I wanna hear a guy who can't sing all for 3 hours.
yeah. Um so so anyway, so the next thing, and it looks a little weird, but I'll kind of explain it. So the next thing I look for is a good ending.
Ending
Yeah.
solidifies the whole
Yeah,
movie.
it does. I want,
There's so
give
many
me
horror
give me
movies
closure.
that kill me because of the ending.
Exactly. Give me closure, give me, um all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, if you just kind of just drop off or you don't give me a solid ending, I'm like, and it says 16-minute bone crunching showdown at the end.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm jazzed for the end. And if you watch it, the
It's
the
it
ending is just it's
it's it's
spectacularly
not disappointing
violent. It,
whatsoever.
it is like you're sitting there going, dude, popcorn.
And the barbecue at the end.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'm at a 10 for the ending
I'm
on
at
this.
a 10 for the ending. They gave you the closure. They gave you
Mhm.
a very climatic ending, to
Yeah,
be
it was
honest.
really like, yeah,
Uh,
it finished the whole thing. Everybody died. it was
yeah,
yeah,
it was
it was brutal. It
I
was it was final.
it's
It
what you
really
want in an ending. I mean,
exactly.
it's like
Especially
there's
for an
no
action movie.
yeah,
How do I
yeah.
want it to end? I want it to end in like raining blood and
But
bullets and
oh, yeah,
and and body parts, and I want all of it. And yeah, it totally
I
delivered.
I would give this, yeah, a solid 10 for sure for an
Yeah.
ending. I can't
This is my favorite aspect of this movie is the ending. Okay, so the last of the 5 is the story.
story. Not to be confused with plot.
Yeah, not to be confused with plot. So yeah, if you think of the
How
plot
do
is
they
this.
tell the plot? It's how
Right.
they
It's yeah, how did they tell how did the tor- this how did they take the plot and turn it into a story. So it's the beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
How did it flow? Were there any holes in the story to where you're like, okay, I don't know how this happened or where this character came from or why didn't they follow up on this? Stuff like that. And I got to say I wasn't a fan too much of the story. And a lot of it's because it's a foreign film.
Yeah.
So there were, if you watch it dubbed, you're missing stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And if you watch it subtitled, you're missing stuff because you're
Yeah,
having to
'cause
try
you
to read
read.
it and you
Yeah.
don't see what's going on. So it does kind of suffer, not to its own fault. It suffers a little bit for me in the story.
No, I
So
could feel you there. I would probably put the story based off of how they told the story, things they coulda added into the story to kinda help keep things moving along a little better.
yeah,
Um, Not like there was any really drag in the movie, but,
yeah,
coulda helped you follow along a lot better. I would probably rate the story at probably more like a 6.
yep. I was at a 6.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's that's I mean, do they do a really good job? Yes, but again, foreign film, you have that
Yeah,
problem with
it's
following
yeah. It
over.
just
Like,
kind
if
of
I
yeah. It
spoke
just
Chinese or Korean, I think I could have been okay, but I don't. So,
yeah.
I'll get hey, listen, a little tip. I have found that watching subtitled movies on your phone is a whole lot easier than watching it on your big ass television because it's all right there in your face and you miss a lot less. And my daughter taught me that watching anime. Just throw that out
Okay.
there for all you
Mm,
folks.
nice.
Makes it a whole lot easier because it's all
Yep.
right there. So
So and
then
we're
we have
gonna
our next
go
set of 5, right?
with yep. So the next set of five is solely based on the action genre.
Okay.
So and the first thing is the violence.
Violence.
You got. I mean, if it's an action movie, you got to have violence.
Violence.
Yeah. So
Um,
how violent do you think this movie is, bro? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at?
10.
You're at a 10. I'm at a solid 9. So we'll go ahead and round it up, and we'll give that a 10. Um, Now the next thing is the pace of the film. So this
Okay.
is where with an action movie, you don't want a whole lot of draggy points
Yeah.
where they do too much character development and crap like that. You don't want it to last that long.
No.
Um, I gave
I
the pace a solid 8.
Yeah, I say I think they did a really good job
They
here.
did
I
a
mean,
really good job with the
I
pace.
think that that low score on the story kinda, dictates it being an 8
Yeah,
for the pace, but,
yeah,
um, I think they like I said, not a lot of drag moments, not a lot of super long
and
character building.
yeah,
They keep the movie flowing pretty good.
yeah. So it's kind of cool because yeah, with the story a 6 and the violence a 10, it kind of averages out. So the
Oh,
pace
I'd
kind
say
of has to do with both. It's like
yeah,
so yeah, there were some story issues which kind of slowed me down a little bit, but the violence really made up for it. So yeah, 8.
yeah,
Um,
I liked it.
s-
I
so then
liked
the next thing, yeah, the next aspect for action genre is the special effects.
special effects. So this
So
one I
this is like
struggle with on this genre because this is not a special effects style movie.
it's not, but so we take like the um but they had like wire work when they're jumping
Yes, yeah.
jumping
Lots
over
of
things, sliding
choreography.
under cars, and if I remember right, there's car chases.
The boats.
Yeah, there's the boats, there's still some gunfire and stuff, so all that's kind of part of the special effects. Um, and also the what they did with the
Hitting each
martial
other with
arts
shit.
action, with beating the crap out of each other. How did that look special effects
Choreography.
wise with a lot of times, and I mean, you see it a lot in the Chinese made movies, is they put they put talcum powder or baby powder on their shoes. So when
Yes.
they actually make contact, you get this little cloud of
Yes.
poof, right? So they're, oh yeah, free special effect.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of that in this movie. Jackie
Yeah.
Chan's like famous for this.
Oh, yeah.
But so I did like the special effects. I wouldn't give it a full on 10 because there wasn't a whole lot. it was
Yeah.
kind of lower budget end.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm thinking 7 or 8
I was
for
thinking
the special.
7. I was thinking
Yeah.
7 on that. I was a little lower than you on the special effects because
Yeah.
when I think of special effects, yeah, you got all the stuff that you don't think about,
Mhm.
but it's missing the stuff that you do think about with the high flying action movies and explosions and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
yes,
But
I
for
watched
what
some
it
decent
had, it was
what
decent.
it has, it's good.
Yeah.
The choreography was great. Yeah, I was going 7 on it, but I could see an 8 there too.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
see an
no, we'll go 7 because I was like 7 or 8.
okay.
So yeah, I think yeah, we'll keep it as a 7. I think that's good.
We do solid numbers, you said, so
Yeah,
can't do
we're gonna do solid numbers, no halves, because we're gonna get enough of halves
I know.
if we total it up and average it. So there's gonna be a decimal, and I'm not adding decimals to decimals, and that
Decimals.
no, screw that.
I got a calculator.
Um, so yeah, no, we're not gonna go too far in the math. But anyway, so the next thing we agreed on for action movies is the stunts.
Stunts.
So something we're pulling the stunts out separately from the special effects, and
Yes.
how do we score the stunts in this movie? And I got to tell you,
Danger level? I think danger level has to be part of the stunt factor.
exactly, I agree. Danger level, what they did, just
The
the
choreography on
choreography for the fight
martial art
scenes,
fight scenes,
which was, I mean, top notch. The
phenomenal.
choreography, yeah,
Yeah.
phenomenal. So yeah, I'm at a 10
I'm
for the
at a 10
stunts.
for stunts. I have to
Yeah.
agree there. It is Jackie Chan's stunt style 10. Uh,
Oh yeah, totally. Um, and a lot of these are choreographed by Sammo Hung, and he's amazing.
Amazing. Donnie Yen
I
actually
don't know
has
if
to do the
I don't
choreography.
know if he did this one. I don't know if he did
Donnie
the
Yen was the
stunt work
main
on this one. I think
Donnie
Donnie
Yen
Yen did
was the main choreography for the
yeah, yeah.
choreography for this.
Um, but Sammo Hung taught him, so it's kind of
Yes.
the
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so and then the last thing we're gonna go with realism.
I and
So
this
what do you think for the realism of the movie? How real did it look?
so this okay, so this is the very first movie I ever saw they brought mixed martial arts into an actual movie, and how
Hmm.
mixed martial arts could be utilized in an actual fight, really, and it
Yeah.
kinda I think if people saw this movie, they'd understand, "Oh, I need to go join a jujitsu gym, I need to
I need to
go
go learn MMA.
I need to do some MMA." And so for the realism factor of this is probably I won't give it a 10 as much as I love the movie and I love the mixed martial arts and everything like that. I would
Mhm.
love to give this 10, but again, it's still all choreographed, and there are points in the movie when you watch the choreography, you could see that wouldn't really happen. Like a guy flying through a concrete wall and getting up and still fighting you, you kind of lose a little bit of the realism there. Um,
Yes.
so I'm going with an 8 on the
Yep.
realism on this,
Yep.
because I haven't seen too many men get that many bottles broke over their head and still continue fighting. But that goes with the stunts and the violence and stuff. So, but I give it a solid 8 on the realism because it might be still one of the best realistic fight scenes that you can probably watch. I mean,
Yeah.
16-minute
Donnie
fight
Yen's
is not
famous for
realistic,
that.
but,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
not without
But see,
taking a minute
but
in
yeah, if
between
you
rounds.
take, for example, if you take Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which is an amazing movie, but the realism is just not there. They don't like bounce from tree to tree,
I don't know.
and
People can't
no,
fly.
that
Uh,
doesn't happen. Um,
people
So,
can't
but yeah, the realism is there with Donnie Yen and the way that he does these, and he's a cop. He does all,
yeah.
so it's not like, oh, I'm this fantastic warrior from another plane, and I have this sword that shoots ice. No,
No,
this
no,
no,
it's
you
none of
just
that.
bare bones. I'm a badass dude. I'm gonna kick your butt, and that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did the math, and I just want to make sure that I'm right. So we got cast and acting as both a 7, plot 9, ending 10, story 6, violence 10, pace 8, special effects 7, stunts 10, realism 8, for a total of 82 is what I
Okay.
have.
Okay.
So if we go on a 1 to 10,
It's an 8.2.
Flashpoint.
It's an
Yeah,
8.2.
Flashpoint gets a 8.2, or we go 82 out of 100.
Yeah, it kinda takes the decimal points away from you.
It does. I don't have to. I mean, I can kind of go, okay, I just move the decimal one place and I divide it by 10. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. Um, but
No, I like it, and I like the 1 to 100, but again, because from the other show, it gives us that nice solid number.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah, so
oh,
we
yeah,
we
I like
call so
the
we
82
call it an 82.
and 82. It's just
Yeah.
weird saying that high of a number on a rating for a movie because it's 4-star, 5-star, and you have a point system like the 8.2,
Yeah.
which is a really high rating, I think, for a movie. Uh,
That's yeah, that's good. That's solid. Yeah, that's a solid movie.
yeah, I mean,
And, and
82,
that's
I mean, that's yeah, that's a I like that grade. I like the scoring system. I mean, I like again, like I said, it takes that decimal point away from you to where you can have that nice solid number at the end when you calculate everything up. But if you want to take the average and really break it down, yeah, it's an 8.2.
yeah. Okay. So,
Highly
now
recommend
I,
this movie.
it's yeah, it's really good. If you have a chance to see it, definitely go see it. Um, okay. So I'm looking at the clock.
Oh, yeah.
And we've done one movie so far. So let's motor through and just do your five.
Alright.
Um,
Jesus. We talk a lot.
sorry.
Okay, so
And that's
no,
it.
no soda for you.
No more soda for me. So I got my tea. Um, okay. I mean, we can do them if we whip them out really quick.
I think we can whip them out really quick. We just gotta,
We just gotta,
uh,
not dive into tangents here. We got
shut
the
up.
basic score,
Yeah.
so okay. So you want me to pull out my first one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna write my things down here. Okay. So my first one, and I'm also gonna grab a foreign film because you know I grabbed one, I grabbed one, and I grabbed the Raid Redemption,
Raid Redemption. That's a
and this is an Indonesian film.
yeah, I don't know who the main actor is in that one.
The main actor is Iko Quanis,
Nico Quanis.
and first time I saw him, I'm like, I'm learning that dude's name because he is badass.
That's a little bit older title as well.
Yeah, it's not.
Not too
I
old.
think they're. I
It was
think they're reasonable. They're actually pretty close. Flashpoint and Raid Redemption. Flashpoint is 2007.
7, I think that one
Um,
was like 2005?
2011
Two thou
is
really? Yeah, wow, I thought it was older.
Eco Uranus. Eco. It starts with a U, not a K.
Yeah.
Eco Uranus. Um, but anyway, but yeah, 2011. Let's see. Special effects and stunts. Dude. And have you seen this movie?
Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
Okay. I would say just watch the trailer and you'll be like, wow.
Turn this down.
And so I'm gonna go humor on this
Oh, that's right.
instead of realism.
Take,
Um so um Iko Uwanus is the main actor in this. So basically and I'll read it on the plot when we get to it. But so this movie is like, do you remember the movie Dread with not the one with Sylvester Stallone,
the
but the
newer one?
one with the newer one with Carl Urban?
Carl, yeah.
Okay.
Good, I
Okay,
like
so how they go in the building and they, you know, travel up the building, right? That's what this is. Only take the speed of the film and double it. And that's how fast it
oh,
is.
Trying to
and
get
take the action in it and double it. Because it's just monster. It is an epic
a
action movie.
floor to floor. This is a second one, or they're coming out with a second one?
Now there was a second one. I have that as well. This was the first one.
Okay. Oh, that's Iko Yuan. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know who that guy is.
yeah, dude. And there's another little dude, um, Filipino dude, or something like that, and he is absolutely crazy. I don't know. I call him Tiger. I don't know his name, but he's just absolutely crazy. So,
That almost looks like Danny Reyes.
hmm,
It's not him though.
no.
Oh, that looks good.
So yeah, it's
Oh, I'm gonna
it's
pull
really
that
good.
up tonight
Yeah,
after our
yeah.
show.
Watch that, and yeah, I think you'll thank me. All right.
Oh,
So for
dude,
cast,
oh my god, I'd give this. Oh my god. Oh, I'm watching this. Oh, I'm watching that. Oh,
so for cast on this again, uh, a four automatically because it's a foreign film.
okay.
I know Iko Uwanis, so 5, and then I know the other guy, but I don't know his name, so, and then plus the other cast members, so I gave it a 6 for the cast.
So you're giving a total of 2 extra points for the cast
Yep,
off the International of the Unknowns.
yep.
Okay, okay. I mean, yeah, yeah, I could see a 6. The main guy, he's kind of starting to blow up right now too
Yeah, he is.
in a bunch of different movies because I saw his
Yep.
face. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I
He
know who
also
that
had
is.
he did a series on Netflix, Zoo Warriors or
Z Warriors.
Z War something like that, to
Yeah,
where and he actually did a movie afterwards. So he's like
yeah,
this ancient warrior and
yeah.
whatnot.
He gets superpower.
And that's really good
Well,
action in that one
yeah,
too. So
that's why I was like, oh shit, I know that guy. Like he's like blowing up pretty
yeah,
good right now. He's actually been in quite a few movies. Actually, even on Netflix original movies, he's actually been in quite a few. I didn't
yeah.
realize that was his name though.
Hmm.
I'd almost give it a 7 just off of him because how
Well,
much
I'm going 6 because we gave Donnie a 7, and I think Donnie's movie is a little bit
yeah,
higher.
okay, yeah, I can
No,
see that.
for the
He is
cast.
not as
So
known as Donnie. I get that.
yeah, yeah.
I get it. He
Now
will.
acting though, I'm going to go the same
Yeah,
as Flashpoint. I'm going to go 7 for
7.
acting. Yeah. Because again, you can feel them. There's one fight scene in particular where you can tell that they're just like emotionally drained
Now
because they
this
just
guy,
kept on going.
I got a quick question about this movie. So this guy, very, I don't know if he was born here or if he was born in Indonesia, but
Mhm.
he speaks perfect English. Is this movie dubbed or subtitled or in English? I mean,
It's dubbed and
it
subtitled.
is
Yeah,
dubbed. Okay, okay.
yeah,
So I'm gonna read tonight. Okay.
yeah. Audio, Indonesian, English,
Okay.
Portuguese, and Spanish. So, but yeah, it's in Indonesian
Okay.
originally. So, okay. So for plot,
I
let
like the
me.
plot line, but
Yeah, plot
I'll
line's
let
good.
you read the back end there.
Let's read it. So, deep in the heart of Jakarta slums lies an impenetrable safe house for the world's most dangerous killers and gangsters. Until now, the rundown apartment block has been considered untouchable. Cloaked under the cover of pre dawn darkness and silence, an elite SWAT team is tasked with raiding the safe house in order to take down the notorious drug lord that runs it. But when a chance encounter with a spotter blows their cover and news of their assault reaches the drug lord, they find themselves stranded on the sixth floor with no way out. The unit must fight their way through the city's worst to survive their mission.
Hmm.
So they basically come in, shit blows the whistle on them, and they're stuck, and then they've got to just fight their way out.
I tell you, it's
So
a good plot line. I like it,
yeah,
and it does. You're right. It does the second Judge Dredd, the remake there,
yeah, it reminds me a lot of
a
the
lot of
second
that.
of Dread.
So I would probably give it a good, nice, solid plot line of at least an 8.
Yeah, I'm kind of at an 8 for the plot line.
I like if I reading the back of that title again, I'd pick it up. I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna watch it tonight. Just watching the freaking
Yep,
trailer, which is pretty much reading the back of the box. So
yep. So ending, and this is kind of same as Flashpoint. I'm at a solid 10 because the ending of this movie is just epic.
finalized,
Oh yeah,
finalized, epic,
yeah. It's amazing.
mid-level media.
Um,
What's up?
oh, hey, that's Ken. Hey
Yeah,
Ken, thanks
just
for
barely
joining
had to
us.
take a call. He is back. Ken, nice to meet you. So solid 10 on the ending.
Solid
It's
10 on the
that
ending.
that good, huh?
Yeah, I really liked it.
Um,
I might drop it down to a 9 just because, but I think it's just as good as Flashpoint.
no, we're talking about the Raid Redemption right now.
Right.
Uh,
But we're comparing it to Dread
comparing it to Dread on how Dread was set up.
because the plot line, the
Stuck in a
concept of the
high-rise
movie
tower
is
and
similar to Dread. So so then
so
the last thing is story.
story. So
For
how well do they keep this to
the thing about the story, it's really simple. It's like get
yeah.
in and then all hell breaks loose and then you got to survive to get out. It
Well, like,
really
like Fred,
it's all done. It's all done in the building.
yeah,
Now there are a couple of of holes in the story where I'm like, okay, they were on this floor and now they're on this floor, and I'm like, okay, I'm not getting that.
yeah.
Um, so I was gonna go 7 for the story.
Oh, higher
Still
they
solid,
do a little
still
better.
solid, but yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of moving parts because they're in a building, they're confined. Everything they do from like 10 minutes into the movie is all inside the building.
Okay.
S-
It's Fred.
so it gets the benefit of being in a confined space the whole time instead of having to go, rush down the streets or break through a concrete wall or do all this other stuff. So yeah, I gave it a 7 for the story. Uh,
So, I think your violence is probably getting
if
to
I could give the violence a 12,
12?
I would. This movie is incredibly violent.
So, a
And
10.
so it's a 10. It's a solid 10. Um, the pace of the film is outrageous.
I would say it looked very
It's
high
very
speed.
fast paced. It's go, 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 go. There's very little stop and character development and stuff. So I'm actually going to go 9 for
9 on the
pace.
pace? Okay. Based off what I saw in the trailer, I mean, you can't really go off trailers too much when you're looking at pace because they're only gonna show you the high
They're going
impact
to show you the
scene. Yeah.
highlight thing, the dude's head bouncing against the wall a bunch of
Yeah,
times. That's
and
probably the
because
trailer of
of
the
that,
story.
just watching the trailer, I think the special effects, it might be a little higher than what I would th than what
Yeah.
people think
Yeah,
on them.
I think the special effects are really good. There's a lot of gunfire, explosions, um, people falling off the ledge and crashing into the
The
bottom, and
splatting.
yeah, there's good road pizza going on.
So,
So I'm gonna go 9
9 on
for
that?
special effects.
I was watching the trailer, I was thinking 9. I
Yeah,
was like, "Oh my
it was
god.
very
Oh,
it
wow."
was very good. And then stunts, I'm at a 10. I'm not even playing with with the stunts. The crap they did in this movie was just
Phenomenal.
amazing.
It
Yeah,
just
it was amazing. I don't know I don't know how these guys made it through the movie without being
hurting
hurt.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
the
wow.
crap that they did, I was like, dude, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
So that brings me to the humor. And the
Okay,
humor,
which is really weird after watching this trailer that this is part of
this is part of my thing. Now I am gonna score the humor low. on this. There were some moments where they kind of make fun of each other, the SWAT unit guys do, and things like that. And there's there's people living in the building,
Yeah. Yeah,
like
yeah,
regular people living in the building that you know all this crap starts happening.
yeah.
I'm gonna go a 5 for humor.
5 on the humor. With
Yeah,
not seeing this yet, I'm gonna take your word on that 5.
yeah.
I think I think it might actually score probably low on realism too, if I was to
Y-
throw my category
I
in there.
I
It
think
might
I probably score it higher than the humor, but I might give it a 6 for realism.
6, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Uh, just I kinda I know this style of movie, and I know what they're gonna be doing, especially with their stunts and everything like that. So that's
Can we make sure I got
10,
that right?
21,
13,
41, 50.
21, 31, 38,
We're doing the same.
37. Okay, I'm at 81.
81, yep.
So yeah, so Raid Redemption gets an 81. And I'm actually okay with that being just slightly lower than Flashpoint.
Yeah.
But as far as I think the movie was, I mean, the special effects and stuff were better in Raid Redemption, but I
Yeah,
think the acting in the movie itself was better in Flashpoint. I felt there was more stuff going on and things were happening. So I'm actually okay with this.
yeah.
Um, Now we are above an hour, bro. So
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to do, especially since we got our other show at 6:30.
Oh, we did 2.
We did two we did two movies, but this was our first episode, so
That was a
um,
you gotta
uh,
bear with us. We really gotta work on our format.
we gotta work on our timing for this.
Oh, let's let's at least let's knock at least one more out. And
Okay,
I think it's the one that we both kind of pulled when I sent you my 5, you're like, "I got that one in my 5 as well."
yeah, and then I got rid of it
Yeah, you
and
got
then
rid of
pulled
it.
another one.
Yeah. So I think maybe we should do that one.
So if I'm right,
Yes, sir, you are. Which one
we're gonna go with John Wick.
Just Brother Me says, I've always wanted to see Raid. And when you say Flashpoint, are you talking about the Donnie Yen martial arts? We're like, yes, that
That's
is
exactly what we're talking about.
exactly the first one we were talking about there.
Yep.
Such a good movie. All right. So, John Wick, cast, acting, plot,
Plot,
ending,
ending, story,
story,
and violence.
violence. I always say it that way, so I remember to put the I in it.
I yeah. Pace,
Special effects.
effects. God, the effects are so good. Stunts
Stunts. Now this is where
and
I think,
the
I'm gonna put a double category here, the realism and humor, because I
yeah.
think
Well,
those
this is yours, so we're gonna go realism. This is your pick because I went and I grabbed red
yeah,
instead.
and that would have way been way humorous.
Yeah, way humorous.
Uh,
Okay, so for cast, you got duh, you
yeah,
got Keanu Reeves, which is like duh.
duh.
Um, yeah.
I
So
can't remember the
how
Russian guy's
how
name.
many do you recognize in the movie? Okay,
How many do I
s-
recognize in the movie?
yeah, because I've got
I would probably put the
one,
cast based off of the point
two.
system.
I'm yeah, I'm at a 10 for the cast.
I'm at pretty much I was gonna say 9,
Yeah,
just because there's some names I always know their faces, but I can't remember their names, especially freaking the dude from, um, that owns the hotel. I can never remember his name, but I
it's
freaking love
Ian
that
McShane.
yeah, I can never
So
remember his name.
yeah, so right down to Michael Nyquist, which
Michael
is
Nicholas, yeah.
yeah, he's he's the other dude that is like um
I
the
mean,
the father of the kid that killed
yeah,
his dog and all that kind of stuff.
and,
Um
what's this Defoe? I mean, you
Yeah,
got
Willem Dafoe, John Leguizamo,
Leguizamo, Adrian Pedler,
Adrian Palicki,
Is
um,
it Palicki?
Palicki.
Yeah, the son.
Um, so yeah, I mean it's
It's all right.
and
Yeah, all right. I'll give it a 10.
Bridget
I'll give it
Moynihan is the wife that actually died, so she's only in flashbacks, but still I
yeah.
recognize her too. So I'm at a 10 for the
I'll give it a
cast.
10. I'll give that a 10.
Yeah.
I can't disagree
Um,
with that.
so acting, I think the acting was pretty solid.
I think again,
I'm
it was not how we score acting.
Yeah,
It's
it's
it
not
is not
underwhelming.
underwhelming.
I
They
mean,
nailed it.
I wouldn't go a 10, but I'm at an 8
I mean,
for sure.
a solid 8 would be a good, and I think that 8 is gonna reflect the story, but
Okay.
because
Yeah.
the plot, if you haven't seen John Wick yet, and
Yeah.
you don't know
Get
the
out
plot
from
of
under
this
the
movie,
rock you were living under
you don't know the
and
plot of this movie.
watch this dang movie. But
Um,
oh my goodness, I can't read this. The print is so small and I'm so
yeah.
old.
Here, I'll give you the plot.
Give me the plot because I can't read the card.
Ex-assassin
Oh, you're just gonna go ex-assassin, dog gets killed,
leaves the world,
takes the
gets
car.
married, finds love, finds peace and happiness. Wife dies, goes into a slumber.
All right.
Wife
I
sends
got
him a dog. Dude kills dog,
yeah.
steals his car,
I
goes
got
back to the world.
okay. So I got my magnifying glass. So here we go. When sadistic young thugs senselessly attack John Wick, a brilliantly lethal ex-assassin, they have no idea that they've just awakened a boogeyman. With New York City as his bullet-riddled playground, Wick embarks on a merciless rampage, hunting down his adversaries with the skill and ruthlessness that made him an underworld legend.
The plot is for me is a solid movie.
It's a family movie.
It's a family
Uh,
movie.
it's a family movie if your family,
Those psychopaths.
crazy people. Um, I
The
now
Atkins family,
I know that and we talked about this because this movie is based on a comic book.
is based on a comic book. It could have been very easily in your
It could be
fantasy
very easily
category.
in the fantasy category.
One part about okay, can I ask somewhat spoiler question? I love John Wick, but one part about it always confuses me. I don't think you can spoil this movie. I don't want to kill your name. I'm sorry, Idoji. I don't think you can spoil this movie. I think it's out
Oh
long
yeah,
enough to where you could
I know this guy.
spoil
He's on
first.
my yeah. He's
So what's
subscribed
the
to my
question?
page.
Throw it out there, man. If it,
Yeah, do it.
throw it out there.
Make it happen.
And while you're typing in your
Well,
question, let's go ahead and go into plot.
let's go into plot.
Let's
So
go to the plot.
I'm like, oh,
Oh, you got
Hidoji,
it
got it right. Good
right. All
job, John.
right.
I'm I'm at a 9
I'm at a
for the
9 for
plot.
the plot. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
pretty high up on the plot.
I was definitely high up on the plot.
It's definitely
Um,
yeah.
so for ending, what do you think?
I'm
I'm not a
I'm
10.
low on the ending. I'm
I'm
low on
not
the
a
ending.
10
I'm
on the
giving the
ending.
ending a 6 because it felt unfinished.
Yeah. And I think they part of that was that they were already planning sequels to this thing. So
Yeah.
maybe that was it. But yeah, I'm kind of at an 8
You
for
went
ending.
8 with ending, I say
Yeah.
6. Well, 7
Well,
that right off.
7 it right off the
So,
bat. So
Doji says, "Why
let's
didn't
look at
the
the question.
Russian
Why didn't
Don
the
not
Russian
about John Wick, knowing his kid was pretty stupid to begin with?" Well,
I
I would have to say that he was what
Well, I think he
what
did tell
Wick
him about John Wick,
he knew about
but
the stories of the boogeyman,
yeah,
but John Wick had fought his way out of the game. I mean, he did the impossible task and walked away from it, and so he was no longer a worry.
yeah.
Um,
The
and
kid just didn't know that that was John
that
Wick.
was John Wick. Yeah. It's not like they
The
hated
the
John
person
Wick.
you just messed with
He
was
didn't
John Wick. It
no
was
employee of the
and then
month.
he was like,
Yeah, no employee of the month, framing with his
yeah,
picture on the wall there.
yeah. And it wasn't like, "Don't touch this guy," with a with a line through it. Yeah, it was just like,
Like he
you
knew
know,
who he was, and you see the fear in his face when his dad does tell him who he fucked with.
yeah,
And then he got the "I'm 18 years old, young and dumb, and I'm not scared of no one" face on him after he realized who he
yeah.
was. And
I'm sorry, if I was the dad, I would have been like, "Vaya con Dios, you're out. I'm gonna send you packing, son, and if he kills you, he's gonna kill you. But, if I intervene, he's gonna kill me too." If I was a mob boss
yeah,
like that guy, I might just go, "Here, John, you can
yeah,
have him.
yep,
Don't kill the rest of my men.
yeah.
My son done fucked up. Go
Nope,
ahead."
my world, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, no, it's my son. I'm gonna protect him. Okay, fine. Um,
Going
okay,
into
so that
that
that brings me to
the
this. That brings us to
story
the story. But um, but that
story
was great question, Doji. Thank you so much.
Yes, you get that fucking car out of here. Yeah, Lou Cosmo
Yeah,
knew who he
John Link was almost like,
"Where'd you get
"No,
that
you
car?
didn't.
Where'd you
Oh
get that
no, you didn't. You take that. I'm not."
car?"
He's smart. He was ready to leave the movie because he knew he was gonna be dead.
Again, so we're still talking about the story.
Yeah, we're still talking about the story.
I give the story. I think they did an awesome job with the story. I
Yep,
think they there was not a dull moment in here, not a lag time. Even with character building, there was not
yep,
lag time.
yep.
I gave the story a 9,
Okay, I'm at an 8
an
for the
8.
story, so we'll call it a 9.
Okay.
That rounds up. Okay, violence,
Do we have to
10.
say
Do we
anything about
have to?
the
Yeah,
10
we're
on
just
here?
we're just gonna just mark that. Pace of the film, I like the pace.
Good
I
pace.
was I was I was I'm good with the pace. I'm still
I'm not a
I,
10 on the pace.
no, I'm not a 10. I'm between an 8 and a 9 on the
I'm
pace
kinda there too, 8 or 9 on that. I'm gonna say
because there is some character development. There's some slow bits, but I
but
mean, you
slow
kind of
bits
need
have
it.
that human relation that you
This
like.
the yeah, that has that interaction that you get with the
I'm
flashback scenes,
gonna go
and
8. I'm gonna go 8.
let's go
I'm
8.
gonna go 8.
I
I'm gonna
agree.
go 8.
Special effects. I think special effects are awesome. So
I'm gonna say I got a 10 on the special
okay.
effects.
I'm
I
I'm
think
at a 9 on special effects, but we'll go
okay.
10. Stunts,
Do we
dude.
the
That's a 10. That would be one. The stunts. I mean, just the work with the guns that Keanu Reeves has, and I know he practiced that for a long time.
yeah. Oh, yeah. All the way back to the Matrix days too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
It was just a da boom. Don't even get to finish that sentence.
no. Okay, so now let's look at the realism.
Let's look at the realism. So I'm gonna of course subtract a little bit from realism because of the beating he takes. Um that
Yeah,
shit
because
doesn't
that's the
happen.
thing, and that was kind of the thing with the story that I had a problem with was that it it really seemed like he was rusty
Yes. Yeah.
in the beginning,
Yeah.
and he should have been killed. He should have been dead.
Yeah.
But instead, they're gonna tie him up and they're gonna monologue for a little bit
Yeah.
and let John Wick get his feet under him, and
Yeah.
then he goes and kills everybody. So then all of a sudden just kind of blows up and he's Billy Badass.
So
But
I subtract points because of the beatings he's able to take and things like that. But
yeah,
the fact
the
I
gunplay
love
was spot on.
the reloads,
Yeah, the reloads,
the car
the way he
movement,
did it,
uh,
spot on. I am not a gun person, but I
fighting.
look at that and I'm like, that looks authentic to me.
Very authentic, very
Yeah,
authentic. I mean, he was even injecting before he even hit his last part of his clip and put new clips in, so he knew he had enough rounds to keep moving forward.
yeah,
The realism, I still score realism high on this. It is a
yes,
very realistic. They did a really good job with the realism. I put the realism actually at an 8 as well
okay,
as with Flashpoint. I
solid.
it got a -2 just for the beatings he was taking. You're just I can't take too much away because that's not that big of a negative factor. It's an action movie. Uh, I've been assuming. So Idoji says I've been assuming they went
Woo-hoo-hoo.
because Winston wanted John back. Oh, that's a good one too. What? So how do you finalize that score there? That's got to be like 84,
I'm at 8.9. I'm at 89.
89.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we hit, dude. This is
We had
probably
it
one
we
of
had a
the
few
best
tens.
action movies
We
out
had
there.
we had 4 out of 10 were tens.
Yeah,
And that's
that's
the first one
two
we've had so far. So
nines, three
that's
to seven. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, 89. Dude, that's awesome.
and I can't disagree with that at all. I
No.
mean, that's one of the best action movies probably put out there in 20 years.
Yep.
Okay, we're at the 22 mark.
Yeah.
So
So
that's a
we're
three.
gonna stop it right there.
Stop.
Um, and we'll come back next week and we'll do the rest.
Yes.
We'll have a little bit of better format and we can start just cooking right into the scores.
Yep.
Because we spent a little bit talking about how it's scored.
Yeah.
So, and we don't necessarily have to do that next week.
No.
So, I want to thank you guys for being on. Please like and subscribe
Oh yeah.
to the Lowdown YouTube channel. Check out the other videos that I have. I know Idoji's like,
Unboxings are awesome.
"Y-
Stream View for
yes, it
yes,
will
yeah,
be available for playback. So yeah,
yes,
I
yeah,
will be putting it on playback. That'll be on, should be on later tonight.
yeah,
So you can go
YouTube
in and
is
watch
kinda
them.
great, on the lives, it automatically saves the actual, video of it too, and just keeps it right there in the videos, that's what's great about that. Next
Yeah.
week is gonna be a whole lot better,
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I think we'll be able to get through the other 7 movies and then we'll have our top.
Yep,
And then we'll have our order. But so
yes.
far, John Wick's in the lead
John Wick is in the
with
lead.
an 89. So um, until next week, this is Dave with the 4K Lowdown, and that's John. And
Thank you,
maybe
guys.
we'll see you at the movies.
Yeah.
You want to end it or am I ending it?
I can hit it.
I'm like, do we